Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to act as your visual tour guide to decode a seriously breathtaking piece of ancient art. And guess what? It perfectly summarizes the entire Christian timeline, which is exactly what you need for your GCSE studies. So, whether you're cramming for an exam right now, or you just really want to understand the rich visual language of early Christianity, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to analyze the magnificent Tree of Life mosaic found in the Basilica of San Clemente in Rome. It is a literal masterpiece of symbolism, and together we're going to read it like a book.
Okay, let's dive right into this massive image. I know, when you first look at this sprawling mosaic covering the whole front of the church, it can feel, well, a little bit overwhelming. There are spirals, animals, letters, and figures basically everywhere. But here's the thing. Every single picture and symbol you see here has a deeper meaning. It's deliberately packed with visual cues designed to connect the life and death of Jesus directly back to the Genesis stories of creation. Ultimately, the artist's main goal here is to show that Jesus is the new Adam. He's here to repair what the first Adam broke.
So, to make this complex theology easy to grasp, here is our agenda. First, the mosaic's master plan. Then, the Alpha and Omega. Third, the cross and defeated sin. Fourth, the divine sacrifice. And finally, number 5, the vine and the Spirit.
All right, Section 1, the mosaic's master plan, Earth to Heaven.
It's absolutely crucial to understand the big picture before we start zooming into the tiny details. The entire mosaic is basically a brilliant visual comparison between the Genesis story of creation and the Christian belief that the cross brings new life. Think about it. In Christian theology, the first Adam, in Genesis, brought about the fall of humanity through a tree, the tree of knowledge. Here, the artist wants you to instantly understand that Jesus acts as the new Adam, bringing about salvation and new life through a completely different tree, the tree of life, which is represented here by the cross itself.
If you look right up at the top, you'll see Jesus shown high in the heavens. He's depicted as resurrected, peacefully overseeing the whole of creation and the church. Now, if you trace a straight line from the very bottom of the tree, stretching right up through the cross and straight into this heavenly realm, it symbolically illustrates that Jesus is the direct path. He's the way to get to heaven. This vertical axis, it's the anchor of the entire mosaic.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Alpha and Omega, symbols of heaven.
Zooming in right at the top of the arch, we can translate a few key Greek symbols that you absolutely need to know for your GCSE exams. Up there, you'll see the letters XP. This is the Chi Rho. It represents the Greek word for Christ, which literally begins with these two letters, Chi and Rho. You see, when we say Christ, we aren't using Jesus' last name. Actually, it's a title. It means the Anointed One, the specific person sent by God with a very special divine task to fulfill. And right next to the Chi Rho symbol, you'll spot two other incredibly important letters, the Alpha and the Omega. These are the very first and very last letters of the Greek alphabet. By placing them up so high in the heavens, right next to the symbol for Christ, the mosaic is hammering home the theological belief that Christ is the beginning and the end of all things. It ties these eternal letters directly to Christ's heavenly placement, creating this profound statement of eternity, captured in just two simple letters.
Okay, Section 3, the cross and defeated sin, exploring the vertical slice. Let's bring our focus back to the center of the artwork and see exactly how it builds that connection between humanity's fall and its ultimate redemption. This is where the real drama of the Christian story unfolds. This vertical slice captures that theological straight line we talked about earlier. Starting from the top, you literally see the hand of God reaching down out of the heavens, pointing directly to Christ on the cross. It's visualizing exactly how Jesus' death brought about new life and, as Christians believe, effectively opened the gates of heaven.
Let's break down the symbols in this slice, because they're fascinating. Notice how the hand of God pointing down is holding a wreath. That isn't just some decorative circle. It's a victory wreath. It's showing that Christ's death is actually a massive triumph. And what exactly is he triumphing over? Well, look all the way at the bottom. See that serpent coiling at the base? That serpent represents sin. It's specifically calling back to the Genesis tree of knowledge, and the wreath above signifies that this sin has been totally and completely defeated by Jesus' sacrifice.
So here's the real kicker. The cross itself actually grows right out of the tree of life down at the bottom of the mosaic. It's not just a dead wooden structure, it's alive and growing. It serves as this powerful, permanent visual reminder to the congregation that people are saved through the crucifixion. Out of death, which the cross represents, emerges flourishing, vibrant new life.
Section 4, the divine sacrifice, decoding the animal symbols.
Now let's look at the incredible animal imagery lining the bottom. The artist brilliantly used everyday animals that regular people would instantly recognize to explain some seriously deep theological concepts. Specifically, the mosaic uses sheep to explain atonement. Why a lamb? Well, historically, lambs were sacrificed as an offering to atone for sins, so Jesus is shown here as the ultimate sacrifice. And you can easily spot which one is Jesus because he's set apart from the rest with a bright halo to highlight his divinity. Flanking him are 12 other sheep representing, you guessed it, the 12 disciples.
This visual brilliantly illustrates Jesus' teaching when he referred to himself as the Good Shepherd. Seeing this row of sheep attentively facing the divine lamb in the center, it just makes the imagery of the disciples following their shepherd so incredibly poignant. It takes a really abstract idea like divine leadership and sacrifice and grounds it right in a relatable, everyday pastoral scene.
And finally, Section 5, the vine and the Spirit, seeing life spreading outward. Let's explore how the life from that cross spreads out into the everyday world. You've probably noticed by now that the background isn't just empty space, it's completely alive. That sprawling vine you see twisting everywhere, not just decoration. In the Gospels, the vine is a classic metaphor used to show our connection to Jesus. It tells us that by staying connected to him, he helps us bear fruit, which basically means he helps us develop good, moral qualities. Plus, this massive vine beautifully represents the active, everyday life of the church as it naturally grows and spreads worldwide.
If you squint a bit and look closely at these spirals, you can actually spot different people living out the life of the church right inside the branches. They are just getting on with their normal everyday tasks. It shows that the new life given by the new Adam on the cross isn't just some abstract idea floating up in heaven. It's something that envelopes, surrounds, and sustains ordinary people right here in their daily lives.
Let's zoom back into the very center for a second. Nestled right on the cross itself are 12 birds. These are doves, a classic Christian symbol for the Holy Spirit. Because there are 12 of them, they specifically represent the 12 apostles. They're shown resting on the cross to signify that they are totally filled with the Holy Spirit, completely equipped to take the Christian message out to the world. And, naturally, doves also serve as a universal symbol of peace.
Seeing these 12 doves sitting so peacefully right on the very instrument of the crucifixion reinforces a massive theological point. It tells us that the mission of the apostles and the peace of the Holy Spirit they carry stems directly from the sacrifice of the new Adam. Literally everything branches out from the cross. So we've covered the Alpha and Omega, the Good Shepherd, the victorious hand of God, and that life-giving vine. As you review your notes and gear up for those GCSE exams, I want to leave you with this thought. Isn't it absolutely mind-blowing how this visual theology manages to capture the entire timeline of the Bible? I mean, from the Genesis creation and the fall of the first Adam, all the way through to the redemption by the new Adam, all summarized in just one unforgettable image. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep looking closely at the world around you because there is always more to learn when you know how to read the signs.